All right, so it is a good reminder of how terrible my handwriting is whenever I write something on here and have to look at it while I'm doing this. But we'll do a slightly more complicated problem. Usually students like it if there's a 0 in front of that, right? It doesn't actually matter number-wise. But if I take 0.2 moles of HCl and I dissolve that in 3.1 liters of water, what's my pH and what's my pOH? All right, so a little bit more complicated problem than the Diet Coke problem that I did on the earlier video. To get pH, that's negative log of the H plus. Well, I don't see H plus anywhere. The chemical I see is HCl, right? So I need to recognize that that is an acid, right? Something more like an NaOH would be a base, right? These were just kind of some of the common ones we use in class a lot. So I recognize this is an acid. So when I do my calculation, it's going to give me pH, not pOH, when I do that negative log thing. But it's negative log of the concentration, right? So of the H plus molarity. Well, I don't have molarity. I have moles and I have liters, right? Well, molarity is moles per liter. So just like if I have 10 miles in 1 hour, it's 10 miles per hour. 10 miles in 2 hours is 5 miles per hour. If I want moles per liter, I just take the moles and divide it by the liters, right? Let those units kind of guide what we do regularly. So for the concentration part, we do 0.2 moles. So if I want the molarity, just going to be 0.2 moles divided by 3.1 liters. Don't have to do anything fancy there. So 2 divided by 3.1, and this is going to give me 0.645. So 0.645 molar, capital M for molar, right? So I need to do that here. So that is negative log of 0.645 molar. Oh, if you notice, look at that. I made a mistake. That's 0.2. I wrote 0.2, but then I typed in 2. And so when I started to go, wait a minute, my concentration here is higher than I was expecting, I realized that I'd written that wrong. So hopefully you had already caught that and were screaming at at your iPad or whatever that I was making a mistake there. So negative log of 0.0645 will give us a pH of 1.2. And then remember, there's no units on that, right? So fairly concentrated as far as on the pH scale kind of thing, right? So a pH of 1.2 on that. So if I want the pOH, now the pOH is not as helpful when we are talking about an acid, but just so we can make sure we know how to do the math, pOH stuff is more helpful when I've got a base, right? But if I want the pOH for this, pH plus pOH equals 14. So all I have to do is 14 minus my pH, and that'll give me my pOH. So 14 minus 1.2, and that's going to equal 12.8 for my pOH. So that means these two are telling me the same thing, right? A low pH is acidic, a high pOH is acidic, right? The pH scale is significantly more common to use, right?